All right, good morning, everyone. We'll call this county commission meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Will the clerk please call roll?
Commissioner Neil Younger,
Present.
Chair Nathan Liker,
Present.
Commissioner Michael Burgess.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Okay. Are there any changes to the order of business? Okay. Moving on, prior minutes. Has everybody had a chance to look through the prior minutes?
Yes, I have. It looks good. Ruth did a good fill-in. That means you have trained her well.
Good deal. Okay. Next, we'll move to the consent agenda. Are there any questions regarding those items?
I have none.
I don't.
I'll move to approve the consent agenda, items A through G.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Agenda's approved. Next, we have issues from people not on the order of business. Does anyone from the public wish to speak? Okay. Moving on to our monthly departmental report. Any comments on that, gentlemen?
I don't have any comments on it. I'm going to be visiting with the Road and Bridge next week for just kind of get an update from them, so.
I have none. Everything. A lot going on there.
Yeah. I would like to make a comment with the Road and Bridge. They did, on their report, they had over 2,100 hours or almost 2,100 hours on South Ellis Avenue. So I'd like to extend a debt of gratitude to them for all the hard work they put in on that project. Even though I know it's not up to their standard yet, they're still working on it, but I do appreciate what they did. And then a couple other little notes. The health department is booked until August with their foot services. So that program seems to be going very well. And our fire department or emergency management fire department is still trending above normal, more or less, for incidents. So it's something to keep an eye on. And our jail is still at capacity. So, okay. Moving on, we'll have High Plains Mental Health.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for having me back. This is Craig Poe, the Executive Director of High Plains Mental Health. I think everybody should have a packet that we sent out just to describe where everything's at. But with the packet and with the moving around, we've talked about what High Plains does, but I know I'm a new face and came and talked to you guys early on when I first showed up and just wanted to share a little bit of my story of how I get into the mental health field and go into the report for you. So I grew up in Oakley and ran away to college. K-State was much farther away than Hayes, so I felt like that was where I needed to go. And built a life there with my wife and got 4 kids, 2 of which will be moving out here. The other 2 are going to be, one's already in college and the other one's waiting to graduate. Figured I'd rather argue with myself for a year of driving back and forth than argue with her forever that I made her graduate in a different town. So, but Manhattan's been really good to us. I had no idea I was going to go into the mental health field. I spent time in construction and transportation. My dad still works in the oil field and made sure I got a CDL and kind of formed career paths around that where I thought that's where I needed to be, the big, tough, burly men that don't have any feelings, right? But I found out a lot of them really do have feelings. Unfortunately, I was around 4 suicidal events in one company, at a construction company in Manhattan, and one was the owner of the company. And finding a way to pick up the pieces and put things back together, really difficult. It put me in situations I never knew I'd experience. I found out HR is about as close as you get to a therapist in construction, and spent a lot of time with those families and a lot of good, bad, and ugly things of trying to figure out what to do next. The following events were unrelated to the owner, but one that was running from law enforcement and thought taking his own life was a better option, and another that fell asleep on the railroad tracks. Never really understood that excuse, how you exact moment fall asleep right there, but and the last one was a lot longer process, but it sticks with me. I've spent about an hour on the phone with an individual that didn't normally call me outside of work hours, and there was a real big finality to that, where I'm 99% certain he was going to take his own life that night, and I was his last call. And I didn't speak a lot, but knowing the gravity of the situation and finding a way to get a welfare check while I'm texting, while I'm talking to him, and get that taken care of. He didn't take his own life that night, but that time on the phone with him was something I'll never forget. And I didn't know it, but all of these events led up to me going into mental health. I just was too dense to figure out all the signs. Things stabilized and we moved the company where it needed to be. But I had what I now know as compassion fatigue. At the time, I just thought, this is insane. I need to get out of here. And lo and behold, the plan was all along for me to end up there. Pawnee Mental Health was hiring an HR director in Manhattan, Kansas. And so I went there, and my boss was a licensed clinical social worker, so it was a little like I went into therapy myself. She had a way of making everything my idea. I can't still figure out how she did that, but it really ignited a passion for me of I can use the business training and skills that I've had and apply it to situations that I now have full experience and empathy for what goes on and how it works, and have been very fortunate to be contacted by High Plains to replace Walt Hill, and excited to continue to build on the foundation of what they have. I was just talking to somebody yesterday, and how short the list of CEOs at High Plains is, no pressure or anything. She said, I hope you'll be around for a long time, which hopefully I will. What you see in front of you, though, is our requests that we come through every year. You probably know the documentation a little better than I do. But we have a 20-county catchment area, and years ago they went through and organized all 20 counties into a funding model that we create based on population, based on clients served, based on salaries put back into the community, and that's how it's all calculated. The next page you'll see is the annual report, and on the annual report is each county, and has some colorful graphics on there. You'll see Ellis County with the yellow star. That is our main office in a full-service location just across the street here. We do have 2,474 clients served in 2023 in Ellis County, and a total for the entire organization of 6,978. So a large percentage of the clients are served here in Ellis County, but we do provide a lot more offices and outreach that they can find us as. The bottom right corner you'll notice is annual family income. I think this is really telling because being a nonprofit and being a community mental health center, we're charged and licensed to serve people regardless of their ability to pay. And having the income levels that some of these families have, they're likely unable to pay, but we're not going to refuse services, and that's what a lot of the funding that we get from our counties goes towards. You'll see the top line, $0 to $10,000 for an annual income, is over 22% of those clients. 10 to 15% is almost another 10%, and 15 to 25,000 is almost 14%. In total, under $25,000 for an annual income for a family is almost 50% of the clients we serve. If you flip the page over, one of the exciting things I feel like we have this year on here is the outcomes. So the big blue box says client satisfaction and outcomes data. Coming into High Plains, one of the things I feel like we absolutely have to focus on is the outcomes for our clients. That's what we're here for, is to improve the lives of those clients, to prevent it getting to the point where I have experienced all those times in construction. We want to find ways to avoid that and move forward in a proactive nature. Clients report a 42% increase in feeling mentally healthy overall after seeing our clinicians. An 87% increase in clients reporting improved functioning in everyday life. A 60% increase in clients reporting no severe psychological distress. 29% increase in clients reporting they feel socially connected within their communities. And a 99% of our clients reported a positive perception of care received at High Plains Mental Health. Now, one of my fun adventures of coming to Hayes is exploring all the different restaurants and food and telling my wife about it so I can make her jealous, because we both like to eat lots of food. I don't know of a restaurant that would have a 99% approval rating. But if somebody walks up to you on the street and says, hey, where's good to eat? You're more than welcome to tell them a good place to eat, right? But unfortunately, the mental health stigma does not have that same translation for mental health services. Most people that seek services won't talk about it to anyone. And it's sad, and we're not going to solve that today, but I think it's important for us to address what the outcomes are so that more people will have those conversations and normalize having a conversation about mental health. Because not everybody needs help, but those that do are not getting the word out, not getting the understanding that they just need to call and ask for help. And High Plains, we're here for you, and we want people to call so that we can provide that help. And clearly with the 99% satisfaction rate, we hope that people do take us up on that offer. So, specific to Ellis County is the red graph that you see. These numbers are directly about the clients served here in Ellis County. 2023, the number has continued to rise clear back to 2019. We had a few things happen there during those years, and I can assume we can all add up what has increased the needs for mental health. But 2,474 clients, and the bottom right, again, that annual family income number. Specific to Ellis County, 606 of the individuals treated come from an annual family income of less than $10,000. That's over 25% of the individuals we serve here in Ellis County under $10,000. 10 to 15 is another 10%, and 15 to 25 is almost 14%. In total, we're nearly half the clients we serve, again, are under $25,000 in annual family income. Right in the middle of that page, you'll see total patient care, just a little bit up from that right box. In Ellis County, our clinicians and our staff have put in 30,389 hours of service here in Ellis County in 2023. That cost is $7,129,273. That is a cost to the agency. Clearly, we're not going to ask Ellis County for $7 million, but I think it is important to recognize how much service we do provide to the county to know that everything you can provide to us goes back to these clients. The next page is black and white and shows all the counties, but it highlights a couple specific populations that I want to talk about today. Ellis County, again, has a total of 474 clients, but we have SPMI clients. That stands for severe and persistent mental illness. There are 272 of those individuals that we served in 2023. These are adults that likely need services for the rest of their life. They receive not just therapeutic services and meds, but also case management and multiple services to help them live and function within their everyday lives. The next population is SED, stands for severe emotional disturbance. There's 507 of these individuals that we've served in Ellis County in 2023. These are the children in Ellis County that we serve with the severe emotional disturbance. Both populations come with additional state funding dollars that are able to help us provide these services, but it is vital that we serve these individuals in the community to help improve the lives of not just them, but their lives around them as well. We have several centers here in Ellis County and just wanted to highlight some of the numbers served outside of our regular offices. We do have the Ellis County Health Department, and we served 61 individuals in 2023, and predominantly all from Ellis County, but there is, as we know, Hayes is a medical destination for a lot of people within the area. And so 37 from Ellis County and the rest scattered throughout the remaining surrounding counties. Hayes Family Med, we serve 91 clients within that facility. And again, majority from Ellis County at 78 of those individuals. And Hayes Med Medical Specialists, we serve 17 clients and 16 of them from Ellis, 1 from Russell. So just to briefly touch on some of the future destinations you've probably heard, whether it's through the Docking Institute or one of our own staff, we are exploring a crisis intervention center. And the Schwaller Center that's just across the way is a crisis stabilization unit, and it's voluntary coverage for 72 hours. Individuals can come and say, I'm experiencing a mental health crisis, and get evaluated to see if it fits for them to come in voluntarily. A crisis intervention center will add all of that, but also add the ability for us to serve individuals through involuntary care. So a law enforcement officer, a community member, can bring them to the center and say, this individual is a danger to themselves or others and they need some help. Now, we would have our clinicians evaluate them and confirm that, because we wouldn't want my mother-in-law to drop me off and you guys wouldn't see me again. But it's important that we have a facility like this, because the individuals that need help oftentimes do not want the help, even though that's what's best for them. There's a situation where they are refusing the help and the state hospital is the option. But I don't know if you guys have heard, there's a lot of bed shortages at the state hospital, and they're planning to build a massive new building down by Wichita to try to help with that. Right now, involuntary care is done in those hospitals. This crisis intervention center would do a 72-hour hold and allow individuals to stay there to get the services that they need. Right now, they're staying in the jail or they're staying in the emergency room, not just here in Ellis County, but all around the surrounding areas. This center would provide them the help they need. They're being protected in a jail or a emergency room, but they're not being treated. And this is the ability for them to get better starting right away, instead of the waits and the holds and the trying to figure out where to put them. So I hope that I'll continue to talk to you about the progress and where we've put that together. We have hired an individual from within our staff to head up the project, and he's just getting started. Currently, he is, one of his many roles is the state liaison to Larned State Hospital, and I feel like his knowledge and his experience in that area is really going to help as we build this facility. The other thing we're continuing to focus on is a CCBHC status. We got certified as a community behavioral health center just before I arrived in December of last year. And Ellis County is experiencing the early parts of this new focus on mental health and trying to connect all the parallels. We have what we call an ACT team that meets daily to interact and talk about the 20 clients that they're assigned to with severe cases here in Ellis County. This has the potential to impact homelessness, impact general quality of life for these individuals that otherwise may not even make it. And it is impressive what they can do. Our plan is to expand this out to the entire catchment area of 20 counties, but we've started with Ellis County knowing that the need is the highest here. We're also putting together what's called a mobile crisis team. Mobile crisis in concert with 988 and that rollout as well. 988 is a number just like 911, but for mental health crisis. And mobile crisis is a group of individuals that can respond potentially in person directly to the person and connect them with a therapist or talk them through some de-escalation techniques, manage their situation in their time of need. Both of those things, as well as many other things within CCBHC, are going to continue to grow here, and we hope to have a very bright future with that. So I've got a bunch of staff here today. I said earlier, I wouldn't be sane after 4.5 months if I didn't have them. They do a great work for the agency and have been here a lot longer than me. But if you have any questions, if I can't answer, I'll turn and have one of them take care of it. But anything I can help you with.
Gentlemen?
Are you fully staffed?
Not yet. Part of that CCBHC movement is finally getting us to competitive wages. And I feel like we haven't fully seen the impact of that yet. It's something I was experiencing at Pawnee Mental Health as well, where we raise the wages to where we can be the preferred employer, and still have to wait as we fill those voids, but I think we're on the right path.
Well, with your fresh eyes coming in to High Plains, is what would be one of the biggest things that you could see short term as an impact that we could do?
I think the biggest thing for the community is focusing on how we can lower that stigma. NAMI talks about standing in the gap, and it's a process of just understanding and recognizing that some people need help. You don't have to know whether they're seeing a therapist or anything else. It's just checking in on them. If they don't show up for work, ask them, hey, everything okay? Anything I can help with? Something that gives them the comfort to know that they'll get to the next day. Because unfortunately, we have many people that walk among us that are not okay, and they put up a very good face. And so if there's ways to continue to have the conversations about the needs of mental health so that it is normalized, I think that would have the greatest impact right now.
Very good. Thank you.
How's the masquerade thing going, your fundraiser? How's that?
It has been really fun. It's awesome coming in and seeing all the excitement. James Gerstner, I know, is behind me, has some experience with development, and we're fortunate to have him on staff. He has went around and really grown this in a first-year event. And of course, his boss, Kaylee Connor, is directing traffic as he moves it along, but it's really impressive. I hope you guys are coming out to the Strand. I know sometimes summertime, a lot of events can happen, but should be a really fun event.
I don't have any comments. I very much appreciate the update. This is very heavy stuff. So it's very good to hear it directly from you and those that serve this community. So thank you for the update.
Thank you.
Thank you and your staff and for what you guys do. That's saving a life affects a lot of people if they do the alternative. So
Yeah, absolutely does. Well, appreciate all the support you guys can provide us, and absolutely let us know if we can help.
Thank you.
all right, thank you.
Yeah, I do. I've been stealing them. By the end of this, I'm going to have a whole.
We're here to help, Michael.
Okay.
It is.
County Administrator report.
It's two quick things. As the commissioner knows, usually after the third meeting of the month, we have the radio show. I did get an email from the Hayes Post this morning. We won't have it tomorrow. So in the future, I guess it'll always be the third Wednesday of the month, no matter if it's after or before the third commission meeting of the month. So I guess you're off the hook for tomorrow. And then secondly, this week is, Danita's out in the audience. This week is EMS week, and they're having a lot of activities and everything going on at their EMS facilities. So much appreciation to our EMS staff and for Danita for running a great department. So if you see any of our EMTs or medics out there, show them your appreciation if you could. I'd appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Commissioner reports. Mr. Burgess?
I didn't really do much this week, but can you give an update on the RAWs? You just sent us an update, so can you give us a little bit more update on where we are with the ROS program?
Yes, finally got some communications lined up between Ellis County and the state in regards to that. And they sent off the spreadsheet and pulling it off the cuff. I don't remember exactly what was on the spreadsheet, but we had several years worth of data in regards to who has applied, who's been accepted and denied. And I believe this would be the second one this year and a third that is also pending approval. So we set aside enough funds for 10 slots, $15,000. So that would be potentially a third of the way there, about a little over a third of the way through the year. So hopefully we'll continue to have more applicants and get more people moving to Ellis County.
Yep. Well, with graduation season, people looking for jobs and moving around, maybe we'll pick up a few more. Appreciate it.
Okay. Mr. Younger?
I did make it to the recovery court. There was one young lady there with her 2.5-year-old daughter. Pretty heartbreaking, but she done it. Judge Brown was very, very appreciative of her, how she and her family, how quick she got everything done. So that was it was emotional, but then also I'd like to wish Roy Frenchie with the Public Works a happy birthday, and then everybody have a safe Memorial Weekend. And like Mr. Poe said, it's mental. Everybody help each other out. All I have.
Okay. Well, did a whole bunch here, but attended executive team meeting on Thursday and went over, with the executive team, we went over Sourcewell pricing and purchasing. And so that was informative, to say the least. Had a good meeting with the rest of the staff on it, just kind of finishing up the meeting. So they had already done most of it prior to. Then last Thursday as well, I met with Brandon Hines and the mayor over in Victoria, and we got on the Victoria City Commission meeting last night to discuss the library, just have a little open discussion of the vote that's coming in August. So it was very well received from that crowd. And that's all I've got for this time. So, okay. Executive sessions?
Yes. So I'll move the Board of County Commissioners recess to executive session for 15 minutes under the following exception to the Kansas Open Meetings Act pursuant to attorney-client privilege exception. The subject to be discussed during the executive session is damage negotiation. Open session will resume at 9:15 in the Commission chambers. Those in attendance in addition to the Board of County Commissioners are Bill Jeter and Darren Myers.
I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Okay, no decisions were reached. And we will adjourn at 9:15.